It was in that moment that I made a decision that I was going to master sales because I knew it would change my life forever.
From bag boy to six-figure earner.
As I'm preparing for marriage, what kind of advice you got for myself or some young guys online?
Her priorities become a priority. Your kids' priorities become a priority. And you forget to prioritize God. And it's like, all right, dude, I am drowning.
You have to constantly keep getting raised to make more money. But in sales, if I can increase my skill set, I can actually work less and make more.
Life is a pitch. It's simply that. It is a pitch, and it is fun. Let's make sure that you're being sold what you want and you're selling what you actually want to sell. I really just love selling. It's the easiest thing on the planet if you believe in yourself. Let's buckle up. By the way, my name's JL. This is Sell Anything.
Welcome to the Sell Anything podcast. I'm your host, JL. We got the one and only Bridger Rogers today. Bridger, you are a sales guru, expert man for the younger generation, the up and coming, because you yourself are up and coming, dude.
That's right.
But you've had some success. Here's the thing that stood out the most to me.
Okay.
From bag boy to six-figure earner. It's on your Insta handle.
Yeah.
Tell us, dude. Tell us all about you, man. Tell us everything.
Well, first off, thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah.
Sales changed my life, and I agree with what you say here. Life is a pitch.
Yeah.
Whether you want to get a girlfriend, a fiance, a wife, right? I know you're married, you got 7 kids. That's a pitch, right? You had to pitch her why you're the guy out of the other billions of guys.
100%.
So, yeah, I mean, for me, I grew up in North Idaho, small town kid.
What town can we ask?
Coeur d'Alene,
Okay.
Idaho.
Washington.
It's a beautiful spot. This is Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. It's close to Washington. You have to fly into Spokane.
Idaho. I'm just kidding.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so I grew up in Coeur d'Alene, and you know, my dad was a contractor, worked with his hands, and he was like totally opposite of me in that he didn't want to have any employees, didn't want to work with people, just wanted to be alone in his cabinet shop.
Yeah.
And I'm the opposite. I like being around people 10 hours a day, closing deals, talking to people, leading teams. Totally opposite, entrepreneur. And so, you know, there was a lot of like scarcity mindset, middle class mindset, right?
Right.
No, we can't afford that. That's too much money. You know, like these types of things.
Yeah.
Versus I feel like the rich, they're like, man, is it worth it?
Yeah.
That's the big switch. It's like, okay, how much does that cost? My dad would be like, well, do you think it would be worth it? No, he'd be like, oh, it's too much money. Like, so it's just having that abundance of mindset. I didn't like getting told no.
Yeah.
Right. I like the yes. And that's probably why I'm good at sales, because I like taking no's to yeses.
Absolutely.
Right. Or maybes to yeses. And so started off bagging groceries, and to buy a burger, right, that's like $21 or $20, it's 3 hours of work.
Yeah.
And so I realized that the way that I was making money, trading time for money, was ineffective.
Okay.
And so there's a lot of the younger generation right now, the average income of my students when they start is like $2,000 to $3,000 a month.
Okay.
$2,000 to $3,000 a month. And maybe they're working at McDonald's, maybe they're, you know, at a grocery store like I was, or maybe they're at an internship out of college or something where they haven't either started climbing a corporate ladder, they haven't unlocked a 9 to 5 yet, and they're kind of scraping by, doing Uber Eats, doing different things. But they desire to be wealthy. They desire to create freedom financially.
Okay.
And to live a life where they can provide, they can protect. A lot of my guys are like 80% young men.
Yeah.
And so I was like, man, what's the vehicle for me that's going to unlock this life that I see for myself, where it's like I could take these visions, these ideas that God's given me and make them real, right?
Okay.
And for me, it was entrepreneurship, sales, and I started getting these ads, man, when I'm 14, 15 years old.
Right.
You got sold on your shirt.
Right.
The guy that was big guru at the time was Grant Cardone.
Right.
Before he got into real estate now, but he was sell or be sold. He was the
Right.
sales guy. And so I just get hammered by these ads, you know, the millionaire mindset. So I buy the millionaire booklet, and he's like, you just got to do the millionaire math. Figure out how many things you got to sell to make $1 million.
Yeah.
And so that's when my journey to sales really began, was when I was like 14, 15, started listening to Jim Rohn on the school bus, reading How to Win Friends, Influence People, which is about a decade ago, actually, is when I got into personal development.
Okay.
And so I didn't make a single dollar until 2 years later. And
when 16's not bad to make $1, dude.
Yeah, exactly. So I made my first sale at like just turned 17 years old, and it was doing affiliate sales where I was using online Instagram and was closing people over the DMs for this like $75 fitness program, because I love fitness.
I love it.
And so I remember I was laying on the couch one day, and I made that first sale, and it was like in 10 minutes of shooting a couple DMs back and forth, like I was talking to my buddy.
Yeah.
And I made more in that one sale, the $37, or maybe it was 47 or something. It was more than I'd make in 6 hours bagging groceries.
Right.
And it was in that moment that I made a decision that I was going to master sales, because I knew it would change my life forever.
I love it, dude.
And so I was like, how do I get more leads? How do I close more people? So then I started getting into marketing. And then I realized that the same effort, almost the same effort, you put into closing a $67 program, you can close a $6,700 program, a $67,000 program or beyond.
Right.
So then I got into high ticket sales, and the story continues to evolve from closer to sales leader to running teams to building 7-figure teams online. And
I love it, dude.
And now I've got my own podcast, Bridging the Gap. So I love podcasting, interviewing successful people, learning.
Yeah.
And then I feel like we're all just in this game of life. I call it a game.
It is a game, dude. I agree with you 100%.
Few people know the game they're actually playing or that they want to play.
Right.
Fewer know the rules of the game they're playing, and hardly anybody wins. And that's actually one of the subtitles of my new book, Freedom Life, the Game.
I like it, dude.
How to unlock a life of freedom.
I like it. So it all started with just a realization, paradigm shift of I'm trading time for money. I want more time, so I can't be trading it for money. So how do I make more money? Sales was the answer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because like you said, if you're trading time for money, you have to constantly keep getting raised to make more money. But in sales, if I can increase my skill set, I can actually work less and make more because the leverage. So I learned that there's a lever you can pull of skill set and then time. Right. So in sales, there's only two things that make you more money. It's either you get better or you do more. Right. And if you manipulate one of these two numbers, you're going to have a bigger dollar amount over here.
Right.
And so that's what all that I've been doing. And I want to continue to evolve that. There's multiple different ways to create leverage in business, and it takes time to create true leverage. And so I'm continuing to do that through a personal brand, right, through acquiring human capital teams, like building teams so that I can be multiple places at once.
Right.
Right. One of my guys are over here watching.
Yeah.
And so that's why I love sales. And so I'm actually very curious because there's so many ways to sell. There's so many different personalities.
Right.
For you, I know we're not trying to flip it, but I'm genuinely curious for you. Where did you first fall in love with sales?
Yeah.
And why'd you decide to name the show Sell Anything?
It's a good question, man. So I first fell in love with sales probably at a really young age. I just didn't realize it was sales. I realized that I could really talk my way into or out of anything. Because I think if you can communicate, you can have whatever you want. And if what you're communicating actually adds value to somebody else, then you can really have anything that you want. So sales was exact same thing, dude. So I actually served a mission for my church, and it was it's a spiritual journey for sure, but it's also a numbers journey. And that's when I was first really exposed to the idea of the harder I work and the more skilled I am, the more success I have. And so I came home from that experience just on fire, being able to communicate with people. I love fitness as well. So then I was like, all right, I'm selling furniture. I don't really love this. Maybe I'll go sell personal training. So then I got into a gym and I started personal training, and I was outselling all the other trainers. I was the newest trainer, but I had the most clients because I could just outsell everybody. And I was like, all right, hold on. The people who can actually afford to pay me for this are entrepreneurs, or they're the wives of entrepreneurs or business owners. All right, I got to think this through for a minute because I'm trading time for money, right? And so then I started my own business, and I had some success right out the gates pretty quick because I could just outsell everybody. But then there comes the fulfillment side. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, I kind of lost myself in the process. Got super out of shape. Fire kind of died. It was just chasing money. And the only thing that actually got me out of the hole I dug being an entrepreneur was sales. I had a business go up belly just really fast. Not good. Like, we were selling more than everybody, but then we couldn't fulfill. And then all of a sudden I owed people money because we couldn't fulfill. And it was like, I don't know how to get the money back now. What do we do? And I had a buddy who said, hey, dude, come out with me for one summer, knock doors and sell alarm systems, and you'll make all that money back and you'll be fine. And I was 30 at that age. And I was like, dude, I'm not a door-to-door sales guy. I'm not doing it. But I didn't have any other options. Yeah. And I went out and I really dominated that space, rose to the top really fast. And I was like, this is the easiest thing on the planet. Selling is so easy because if the skill set's there and the time is there, you're going to win every time. Yeah. And I get to determine what I make. Yep. So I've just been a serial salesman since I was 20, started making six figures and beyond, like from when I was 30. And then now it's just like, really, life's a pitch, dude. You want to sell your wife on an idea. You want to sell your team on an idea. Now we've got different campaigns that I have my own salespeople, have my own teams. And sales in my mind is just a way to give back, to help people communicate. And it's kind of evolved into more of just selling men on themselves, selling people on themselves, than it is talking about sales. Because there are people like you that are really good. There's people like Jeremy Miner, Jim Rohn. There's all these sales, Grant Cardone. There's gurus out there. Mm-hmm. I don't need to teach someone how to overcome objections, but I want to sell people on themselves. And so that's kind of what the whole idea behind Sell Anything is if you can believe in yourself, dude, you can do anything you want.
Yeah.
So, but then you add the skill sets to it, away we go. Does that answer your question?
Oh, 100%. I appreciate you going into the backstory. Yeah, I always say in my program, the first close you make is yourself.
100%.
Like, if you can't close yourself on the product you're selling, you can never sell anybody else.
Right.
If you can't sell yourself on yourself, you can't sell yourself to your wife. You can't sell yourself to your friends. You can't sell yourself to really anybody. I mean, even just communicating, like I just ordered, food earlier today.
Right.
I'm selling that person my order to make sure they fulfill it. It's my responsibility to make sure that they understand me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm going to take personal responsibility that I communicate clearly and effectively to make sure that what I want inside gets communicated out so that person interprets it, writes it down.
Right.
Now, obviously, I can't control if they write it down right and, whatever, but I want to make sure that I make it as clear as possible.
Right.
And then get a double tie down on the back to make sure they read it back to me.
Yeah.
To eliminate error. Right? Not always. I'm just saying, if I wanted to make sure that, I got the order right, that's how I'd do it, right?
Yeah.
So what's up with the dog? Tell me about this dog here.
Well, the dog, dude, I hunt a lot. Oh. So I hunt with bird dogs.
That's a bird dog?
Yep, that's a bird dog. It's a German short hair pointer. And so I've probably had 8 or 9 of them. I have 3 of them currently right now as we speak. And and we go hunt. When the fall hits, we chase birds. So that's the point of it. And actually, one of my door-to-door guys 10 years ago, he was a big lab guy. And he compared me to a short hair, and I was like, I don't know if I should be insulted or if I'm grateful, but it's just, dude, those dogs are bred to go. They go hard, and they'll go find, he's obviously holding bennies, but their job, they find birds and they lock up until it's closed. And when I say closed, they will run all day, every day, full speed. And then as soon as they smell a bird, they will turn and they will lock up and they will not move until I get there to shoot the bird and close the deal.
No way.
And it's just, they're awesome.
They're just trained killers.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
So it's got a lot of meaning, a lot of meaning. It's got a spiritual essence to it, all that stuff as well. It's fun, dude. I love them. Good questions, dude. Really good questions. So question for you.
Yeah.
Can we talk about what you said before the podcast?
Totally.
Getting married.
Yeah. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. What's going on? How'd you sell her?
Oh, man. You know what? Listen, I think just like in anything, if I wanted to break it down tactically, it starts with body language and eye contact.
Okay.
I closed her with my eyes first.
Okay.
So and this is kind of a funny story, but I'm working hourly, $9 an hour.
Yeah.
It's 2018. No, sorry. Yeah, 2018. It's after bagging groceries. I got a 3-month summer job as a host at this little restaurant.
Yeah.
Called Le Peep Cafe, a little French restaurant. And so I'm a host at the front.
Up in Coeur d'Alene?
In Coeur d'Alene. Okay. And I'm at the host, and then one day, this girl walks in, and as soon as she walks in, we lock eye contact, and it was dude, it was like everything you see in the movies.
Okay.
I mean, it was like lightning.
Okay.
And it was just wow. I'm like, this girl's the most beautiful girl I've ever seen.
Okay.
And it was something was different about her soul, her presence,
okay.
who she was, and it was just whoa. And then she felt the same way, and I look over, and she's blushing. And she's talking to her dad. She's kind of looking over at me. I'm like, okay. And then I'm talking to the host. I'm like, hey, I need to take these people there. I need to talk to them. So then I call them up, and they get up out of their chair, and then her dad gives her a little push, and he's like, there you go, Shanna. And I'm like, oh, wow, I got to lay down. I got to lay down clothes.
Yeah.
And so I walk them over, chat with her, find out that they're in town for the summer. They have a summer place. They actually live here in Scottsdale in the winter, and then Coeur d'Alene
Is that how you ended up down here? Chasing a girl?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a bird dog.
Okay, that's right, dude. That's right.
But it was a lot of reasons, though. People ask me why I moved here. 3 reasons. Number 1, I like warm weather. I was sick of the cold. Number 2, I want to surround myself with other successful people. It's easy to make connections here, to do business. A lot of people in the industry that I wanted to grow in. And I saw that online. And then number 3 is like, I think it has more than 44,000 people in Coeur d'Alene. So I knew that it has a good chance that my wife could be down here.
Right.
And I wasn't attached to her specifically. I'd like it to be her, but I can't control her. And at the time we were young and like we dated for the summer, fell in love, but then she was like a sophomore in high school.
Yeah.
And I'm like a freshman in college, but I didn't go to college. I dropped out. I was an entrepreneur and was trying to figure everything out. So the timing was just like we kind of dated, and then we became really good friends. Just stayed friends for 7 years.
All right.
And then eventually it came full circle.
Okay.
It's come full circle so many times. I've been looping for years. 7-year deal cycle.
Okay.
On this one, yeah.
So tell me more when you say I've been looping for years. So it came full circle a few times. What would happen?
Well, like for example, like the next summer, so we stopped dating. We didn't really talk much during the school year, and then the next summer, I'm like on the beach one day, or I call it the beach. It's just the lake.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I'm laying there, and then she's like, "Bridger," and I look, and she's there. She knows my spot because we spent the summer together. So she like finds me because it's a small town, so we ran into each other. Then we spend that summer together, and then I was so upset that I did not have the money to be able to move down here when she left. And we did long distance for a month, and it was just tough.
Yeah.
And I was so upset. That was the turning point for me. I was like, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to become successful, become a provider, and stuff like that. And so that's when I got serious about my career in sales and stuff like that. And I made enough money. And then I was like, I told her, I was like, when we were dating, I'm gonna be in Scottsdale by the end of the next year.
Right.
And I did it. And so
there you go.
Made money, got into sales, bought a BMW, did the things, and then moved down here. And it's like one of the best decisions I ever made.
I love it, dude.
Yeah.
I love it. So now I noticed the cross.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that. 'Cause someone doesn't wear that on their chest unless there's some meaning behind it.
Totally, yeah. Well, I'm a born again believer, Christian.
Okay.
So for me, I grew up raised Christian, and it was a personal faith for me. But just like a lot of people that grew up Christian, you kind of try it out a little bit, and I think it's somewhat healthy. God lets you kind of try it out a little bit just to see what it's like without Him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I tried it out a little bit, not very long, and I'm like, dude, this place is dark. This world we live in is dark, it's evil, and it's full of a lot of wickedness and sin. And I was just like, man, like, what happened? I was chasing the things of this world,
right?
Became a bit of a player, because we didn't work out. And so I kind of, became a serial dater for a little bit.
Yeah.
And so then I'm like sitting on the top of this. I ended up making some money and was traveling the world. And for my 21st birthday, I went to Palma, Spain. So I was in this three-story villa looking over coast of Spain, making all this money. It wasn't a crazy amount, but it was enough to have freedom and like do what I want to be dumb and stuff. And so I'm sitting here, I'm like, man, what's the purpose of my life? Like, why am I doing all this? It's just to chase money, chase tail. Like, what's going on? And so I'm like thinking, man, like, is there a God? Is there not a God? What's the purpose of life? All these deep questions that I think eventually people get to if God calls them in.
Right.
And so I come back from that Europe trip. I was gone for like 7 weeks. Come back, go to this event, Funnel Hacking Live, 2021, and I'm at this
Good old
event
Russell Brunson.
with Russell Brunson.
Yeah.
And then one of the speakers was Garrett J. White, and he had just become
Christian.
I'm
going down to his event this weekend.
Which one?
Garrett's. Yeah.
Which one is it though? Is he
so I'm a part of his Savage Syndicate.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, he's
super
a stud,
cool,
man. He's cool.
I love Garrett.
Yeah.
He changed my life. I mean, it was really God through him, but he shared his faith, got up there, and Russell didn't even know he was going to do it. Just dropped the bomb. And he still gets invited back every year.
Yeah.
That's Garrett for you.
Yeah.
So he's sharing his testimony on how he's grown closer to Christ and God, and how he like kept chasing the money, kept chasing the stuff, and it just kept leaving him empty. And then all of a sudden I heard literally the Holy Spirit speak to me and was like, Bridger, why, or Jesus, why have you forsaken me? Dude, it broke me. I just started bawling, literally just bawling my eyes out. And I'm just like, dude, I've completely abandoned the faith. I felt like I had just turned my back on a best friend or a little brother or little sister or something like someone I cared about. I just totally ignored, forgot about, didn't call, didn't text.
Yeah.
Pushed him out of my life.
Yeah.
And it just hurt because it was a relationship.
Yeah.
And then as I'm like bawling, I'm just sitting in this and I'm hearing his testimony. And then all of a sudden I hear God tell me, if you keep living your life the way you're living it, Bridger, here's what your life's going to look like. And then he showed me my life in like 15 years. I'm like in my mid 30s, late 30s.
Yeah.
No family, no wife.
Yeah.
Completely empty. massive floor to ceiling mansion on the water in Miami,
Yeah.
huge yacht, making money in just a way that's totally unfulfilling, doesn't really add value to anybody.
Yeah.
Probably is taking people's lives.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was. I don't even know, but there's those industries that just suck life
Yeah.
and don't give life. So, and all the relationships in my life have been burned to the ground pretty much, like with my family, with different people. Like they were just like, I was outcast pretty much.
Right.
And it was just empty. It was meaningless. And I was like, man. And he's like, but if you lay down your life and follow me, here's what your life can look like. Vision stopped. Next vision was literally this beautiful ranch, 5 kids, a beautiful wife.
Yeah.
I didn't even see her face. I just saw like us walking into the distance kind of, and it looked like her. And I've told her this, like it looked like identical to her, like her figure, her height, her hair.
Yeah.
And I didn't even piece it together until it's all coming together now. But I was like this person. And then it was like the way that I made my money was truly fulfilling. It was changing people's lives. It was transforming people. And like I had, I even got to see like my funeral a little bit.
Okay.
And it was like people were so happy that I was able to like impact them in the way that I did. It was like, they were like, man, my life is not the same because of Bridger. Like he's truly like poured into my life and just gave. And I was just like, wow, like those are such stark differences.
Right.
And I'm like, from that day forward, I've always decided to live for that second vision.
I love it, dude.
So that's what it means.
That's powerful, man. That's super powerful. So with the born again Christian stuff, do you have, I'm assuming in your courses, I'm just assuming, full-fledged assumption. Is there a part of like a communion with God every day? Is there like in your daily disciplines, or what how do you stay connected to him? Because it's super easy to get pulled out.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's a war.
The renewing of your mind. How we renewing your mind every day?
Totally.
Is my question.
So I have a personal philosophy I've built. I call it the B5.
Okay.
And these are my core values that I live by every day. And it starts with my belief in God. I want to fill my belief cup every single day. And this works for sales. This works for building myself. Like I want my faith to increase every day. I want God to renew my cup every single day. So every morning I'm doing something spiritual, whether it's a walk, time with God alone, whether it's reading the Bible. I read the Bible at least once a day, whether it's grabbing one scripture, whether it's doing a deep dive, or it's doing a Bible study.
Yeah.
Getting into the Word is really important to renew the mind. Worship music. I love worship music. Just singing songs unto the Lord. I play guitar.
Cool.
Those are the ways I get filled up spiritually. Talking to God, journaling. That's another one. And then once my belief cup's filled up, spirit, then I go into the body. That's the second beat. It's like, dude, I want to attack the body, discipline the body, the mind will follow, right? So physical fitness is important. I train 3-4 times a week, 10,000 steps a day. I like to eat healthy foods. And then business. After I do those two, it's like, dude, I'm ready to get down to business.
Right.
And so it's like, that's the next priority. I need to go attack. I need to dominate. I need to go and do the things I need to do in business to conquer and take dominion, right? Like what is biblical masculinity? Well, I did a full breakdown in one of my Bible studies. It's on Genesis 1:28. I know our friend Garrett loves this part. Yeah. The dominion, but it's like, you got to be fruitful, multiply, increase in number, subdue the earth, and have dominion over it. And so those are the things I want to do in business. Right. Work my land, produce a fruit, produce a crop, right? Harvest. And then once I take care of business, I'm like, at the end of the day, like, as a single guy, because I'm kind of in this transitionary period where I was single not even 3, 4, 5 months ago. Now I'm dating, going to get married soon. So before it was the brothers. What's that?
Do you have a date for the wedding?
Before the end of the year. We're
Holy
finalizing.
Hannah.
Yeah.
Let's go, dude. All right.
Listen, man, I like to move quick.
I think you should.
I like
think
to
it's
move
great.
quick. Yeah. That's the plan. But yeah, so yeah, brothers, that's the fourth B is like, dude, pour into your brothers. Have like brothers that are older than you that pour into you, guys at the same level you're competing with, and then guys that you pour into. And so I like, law of 33%.
Cool.
And then the last one's babe. You know, then I'll do the things to get the babe. But if I don't do the 4, I'll never get you never keep the babe.
No, you don't.
Right? Like you got to keep doing those even when you're on your own. Like I'm sure you even do those even when you're married, right?
Right.
Like you got to keep your priorities even to make sure you take care of the babe.
Yeah. No, my philosophy is very similar, and it actually stems from Garrett before I even met Garrett like in person. But it's body being balanced business. Yeah. And the balance is because once you have kids, man, the game changes a lot. Totally. Once you actually get married, the game changes a lot. But then you throw in the kids and it's like, so this is the refiner's fire. This is what they're talking about. Okay, cool. It's a completely different game.
Oh, I bet.
But it's still a game.
Yeah.
It's still a game, and you can still win. You can still dominate.
Yeah.
It's just different rules.
What's the biggest rule that you can think of that changes from married and single to married and kids?
Well, it's funny that you put it in that context or in that frame, because actually the rule is not that it's not different. Huh. The rule is still you got to put God first.
Yeah.
If you're putting God first and you're diving into the Bible and you're renewing your mind every day and you're seeking His will, just like you were when you were on the pursuit of finding the babe, then it's really easy to still keep her as a very high priority. The challenge is that all of a sudden her priorities become a priority, your kids' priorities become a priority, and you forget to prioritize God, and it's like, all right, dude, I am drowning in this responsibility. But if you keep Him at the top, it's a game. Because He wants you to win.
Yeah.
God wants you to win every time. So if you keep Him in the equation, it's inevitable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the it factor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed that, because it's like if you take care of your relationship with God, God will take care of everything else.
100%.
Right? So seek first the kingdom, and everything else will be added onto you.
Nailed it.
And it's like, man, if you try to build your house on anything but the rock, sinking sand. Whether it's and as men, I feel like as we create wins and stack wins in our career,
right,
it's like we start to kind of almost become prideful, and like through our grit, determination, through our brains or our money, we're like, oh, we can get through this. We're the ones that are going to hold this life together.
Yeah.
But it's like you said, the balance part. It's like, dude, that's so out of balance. It's like we're nothing. Like everything He's given us is a gift. It's a blessing.
Right.
He could snap His fingers just like Job and wipe it all out. Just like that.
He definitely could.
And then the next day He can be like, double for your trouble. You know what I'm saying? So.
Double for your trouble. I can only imagine. He's like, here you go. But I don't.
Here's twice as hot as a woman. Here's 2 times the amount of kids. Here's twice the wealth, twice the goats. It's
a lot of effort. And
then at the end, I always like to joke. I always wanted like a Job. I think it's 41 or the last chapter of Job 43 or something, where it was like there was no finer women than the daughter of Job, and then he left him an inheritance.
Yeah,
I just thought that was funny. But
that is funny, dude. Yeah, I'll have to dive into that and study it. I haven't studied that part very deep. But no, dude, there's no secret. Like God is the secret. Like just keep Him first and foremost, and everything else falls into place. Because He can make a lot more out of your life. Like, well, you experienced it yourself. Here's the vision Bridger has for himself. I'm in Miami. I'm on a yacht. That's cool. I made a lot of money because that was my goal. That was my focus. That's what I wanted. Okay, well, here's what God's got for you. That actually feels better. A ranch, beautiful wife, 5 kids. That feels better. I think I want that one. So it's just laying into His vision and running is, in my opinion, the way it works.
Yeah. The tricky part, though, is when you throw in the spiritual warfare.
What do you mean? Tell me more.
Well, you think like that one sounds better, but then the enemy's sending these thoughts, these fiery arrows in your head, and he's like, well, what about the Playboy Mansion? What about this? What about that? Right? And like, if you don't guard your mind, those thoughts start to compound.
Yeah.
It starts with a quick look. And it's like real. And that's, I think, actually one of the things I took away from Jordan Belfort was like, once you compromise on that line of integrity, dude, that thing's a slippery slope to nowhere.
Right.
To hell. And he literally said it started as like, how, people asked him, Jordan, how'd you do all these crazy things? He's like, well, we just kept moving the line. And pretty soon this line's like, where are we?
Yeah.
So it's, you got to like really guard, you got to put on the full armor of God every day. And it starts with the belt of truth. People think it's the helmet of salvation first. It's not. It's actually the belt of truth. Because if you can't see things through a truth lens, a truth paradigm, dude, it's game over, because you're going to think you're buying into the truth. You're buying a lie. Right. And that entire paradigm and that life that you're building was built on a lie, a false foundation.
Right.
And it's like you think you're doing the right. How many people think they're doing the right thing? How many millions of people have been killed from people that have been sold by the enemy a false paradigm?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, a ton, man. 100%. That's funny. So the whole reason I have this sold shirt is over the last 6 months or so. And this all comes full circle. So you asked about sell anything.
Yep.
I've felt like for my entire adult life, since I got home from my mission from my church, that I needed to just be more vocal about principles of truth. And I just pushed it off, chasing money, having kids, chasing more money, having kids. And literally, I don't know, it was October of last year, I was here. I was in this actual studio, and Brady and I had a conversation, and he's like, dude, let's just start a podcast, man. And we came up with the name like in 2 seconds.
Oh, wow.
And then I told Brady a little bit my backstory. He came back with the short hair, and it was like, it's just all fallen into place.
Flow.
But it's just fallen into place, and it's because I started to listen to what God was telling me to do that I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not. Like, I didn't have any presence on social media at all until October, because I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm just going to work, and I'm going to make a ton of money. Don't care. Not doing it. And then I felt, okay, I need to do this. And then the more I listened, the more I renewed my mind, the more I got focused. Then I wrote a book, which is essentially the exact same thing that you just said. It's called Sold on Yourself, hence the word sold. And it talks a lot about just the war between good and evil. Like, you have to see things through the lens of truth. And if you have any ounce of deception, you're toast, dude. You're cooked.
Do you believe that all truth is relative, or do you believe in absolute truth?
That's a loaded question, man. I think there's both. I think there's absolute truth, like Jesus Christ is the Savior. In my mind, that's an absolute truth.
Right.
God is my Father, absolute truth. I think that as we progress in life, there are things that were once our truth that like got us as far as we could progress with that amount of faith to, okay, now I'm in a paradox because this was true and it did serve me. But in order for me to get past here, I've got to let go of this truth and I've got to go to this truth. So I think there's both.
When you say, you believe something up until this point, but it won't get you here, are you saying that what was believed was not fully true? Or what do you mean by that?
So it was true at that time, meaning, so what I mean by that is this big kick that I'm on right now, dude, is I very much used to be a checklist kind of guy, like all performance, like just go grind. And that truth got me really far. That truth got me the success that I wanted. But where that truth led me to is now I'm exhausted, dude. I'm burned out. I don't want to do anything. But in my mind, the truth was if I'm not grinding and I'm not working hard, I'm not winning.
Yeah.
The truth now is shifting to, dude, if I'm just present, I'm going to win regardless.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have to grind and perform. I just need to be present.
Yeah.
Which both are true, because I would have not learned the skill sets in self-development. I would not have learned how to sell. I wouldn't have learned any of this stuff if I wasn't grinding, if it wasn't consuming me to grind. But now that those skill sets are there, the presence is what's required to maintain it and grow it, multiply it, have better dominion of it without burning it to the ground.
Yeah. It's almost like it was effective strategy.
It was truth in the effective time of strategy. Yep.
Yeah, but you found a more effective strategy to execute.
100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I was talking with a guy the other day, and he was telling me that all truth is relative and there's no absolute truths. And of course, you can't believe the Bible then.
Yeah.
But he said he did believe the Bible, but he also believes all the other religions. And it was just like, man, dude, like, I was like, when? And I had to ask him because he's like, yeah, I grew up in the church. I used to preach on, spirit-filled church and all this. Yeah. And so I asked him, this is probably one of the most powerful questions when you get into a person's pain and story you can ask for the audience is like, take me back to the moment that everything changed for you. Like, when did that stop becoming true? When did this direction change for you?
That is powerful, man.
And that opened up a really cool story where he told me, like, we were giving a bunch to the church. We were doing all this stuff. And then all of a sudden I just felt like I looked around and like nobody was happy.
Yeah.
Nobody had great relationships. Nobody had great marriages. I was like, why am I doing all this?
Right.
And so I think he just lost perspective. It bailed out of the church. Not long after, ended up getting divorced. And like, I'm just like, man, dude, it's so sad what the enemy can do with these lies, bro.
It's true, man.
Because it's not the church that's the issue.
It's not.
It's not the church. It's the people that the Spirit is on top of, it's those people that are called. It's the people. It's the sin.
It's the lies inside of it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the sin. It's that every church, no matter what church you go to, has flawed, sinful people that are going to make mistakes. They're going to hurt you. And that's probably, I'd love to hear your perspective, but I've been studying a lot about marriage, and that's probably like the hardest truth about marriage that I don't think nobody talks about is like, dude, you're going to get betrayed. You're going to get hurt.
Yeah.
She's going to turn her back on you at some point in some way.
And you will to her too.
And you will to her too.
And it's not even that you mean to. It's just that the line just keeps moving a little bit more.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, just like the old Wolf of Wall Street, you're going to be like, how on earth did we get here? And it's like, are we getting divorced? I don't think we're getting divorced. Well, we're clearly not as in love as we were when we started. So, and it just subtly
erodes.
Little stuff. And
yeah.
And again, that goes back to why it's imperative that God stays paramount.
Yeah.
Because if God stays paramount and you're doing everything in your power as the man to stay in alignment with his will,
yeah,
and she's doing that on her own as well, then you're both just going to draw to him and you just get closer and closer as you go on.
Yeah.
But if all of a sudden there's this little fun lie over here and she's going this way and you're going this way, where'd we end up? How'd we get here?
We got a huge gap.
A massive gap.
And you're either going to live in the gap or you're going to bridge the gap.
Yep. 100%, dude. 100%.
You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah,
it's interesting because as I'm preparing for marriage, what kind of advice you got for myself or some young guys online? Like, what do they need to know going into it that can help them if their goal is to stay married for the rest of their life through thick and thin, no matter what sort of pain they go into? It's like, dude, I'm here to win. I'm here to finish.
Yeah.
Continue to serve. Continue to show up. Like, how do you do that?
Two things come to mind right out the gates. One, surrender to God. Be a God-fearing man, dude. Just surrender to him.
Yeah.
Like, you got to surrender to him, and she will, not in an egotistical way, but if you're leading in a godly way, she will follow you, and she'll surrender to you. If you're leading from your ego, she's going to be like, screw you, dude. I want nothing to do with you. And then from not a spiritual standpoint, not a like religious or spiritual standpoint, but from a psychological standpoint, because we are human, we are flawed. This came from my uncle, actually. He said, take no offense, even when offense is intended. Because she's going to say stuff to piss you off. And you're going to do the same to her. You just can't let it faze you.
Yeah.
You just have to be like, okay, I get that you're frustrated, and agree with her quickly.
Yeah.
And then just, what do we actually want instead?
Totally.
So even when she's trying to be like offensive or you're being offensive to her, chill out, refocus on the goal. What do we actually want? We got married for a reason. We have these 5 kids now, if that's where we're going to end up. Like, what do we actually want? We want to be married forever? Do we want to be married for thick and thin? That's what we committed to. Like, let's keep going, because what we're doing is not going to get us there.
Yeah.
Trying to offend each other. Does that make sense?
Oh, totally. Yeah. It reminded me of the verse, like, love conquers all.
100%.
It's like, if that's the focal point, that love will be the thing that rises to the top.
100%.
Every time, no matter what happens, it's like resistance tries to hit. It's like that thing's going to conquer. That's going to come up.
100%.
And then you got to be quick to forgive. And it's hard sometimes because when they say those darts, man, they're throwing them darts.
Yeah.
Like, oh, God.
You're like, that one stung.
Yeah.
And the only reason it stings is because it's probably true.
Yeah.
If it hurt, if it like hit an emotion unconsciously, that's basically your unconscious mind's like, yo, bro, she hit a hot button. And if you'll get your ego out of the way and just listen, there's a lesson here.
Yeah. Because my mom actually told me this recently. She's like, if you guys can just learn not to press each other's buttons, you guys will go so far.
Yeah.
So what have you learned, like, when you feel triggered and you because you get to know someone so intimately and you know all their hot buttons, all their pains, all their insecurities, all their fears, everything.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, you've got like a nuke control panel
Yeah.
where you could just light this thing up if you wanted, just start. But you're like, I guess, what have you found are some practices you guys have put into play to like reset when emotions start to rise?
You got to hit your own hot buttons, dude.
Yeah.
And so what I mean by that is you've got to know what your hot buttons are, and you got to ask yourself and self-reflect, why are these hot for me?
Yeah.
Because we live in a very flawed world. We live in a world where nobody's perfect. We live in a world where trauma is a thing. Like, we live in a world where there is opposition in everything. And so if you're feeling emotionally charged about something, then for sure there's something you can learn from it. Because one thing that I really have always held on to is men are that they might have joy. And what that means in my mind is God sent us here to win. He sent us here to experience a fullness of joy. And the only way that that's possible is staying in alignment with truth. So if I'm not feeling joy, then something is not in alignment with truth inside of me. And it's my job to find that hot button and rewrite the story around it. So, because I don't think that it's fair if the whole game of life is to continue to grow, to get out of the gap and grow, grow. It's not fair to hide behind your hot buttons. For your wife to hide behind them or for you to hide behind them, it's, dude, let's lean into these together. Let's focus on what we actually want. And eventually, as we resolve the crap that somewhere along the line was placed in our hearts or in our minds by some false story, then we can have unity all of the time. Does that make sense? Not all the time, but we can have it more often than not.
Yeah, and that's a great goal. More often than not.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, it's you got to own you and she's got to own her. Because you said earlier, you're like, I can't control her. I think that was her. Like in a vision, it's like her silhouette, it's her figure. Like, but I can't control if it's going to end up being her. Like, hopefully it's her.
Yeah.
Like, even when you get married, dude, you cannot control her.
No.
It will not work. She will eat your lunch. Like, you just can't, dude. So you've got to, the only freedom that really exists for a man is control himself.
Yeah.
To master himself. That's it.
Yeah.
Regardless of the darts that she's throwing at you, because she will.
Yeah.
And you, like, all right, cool. And you'll throw them back at her. But if you both can control your own states, it works.
Yeah. And I actually, have really almost kind of fallen in love with not controlling, wanting to control, even though there might be an urge. I'm like, where is this coming from? Oh, this is coming from a place of insecurity.
100%.
Coming from a place of fear, scarcity. I'm like, well, dude, this isn't even true. Out of alignment.
Yeah.
What's the truth? Oh, wow, she does love me. Oh, wait, she wants to be here. Dude, let me just go conquer. Let me just do this stuff.
Yeah.
And then you create the space, and it's like that feminine energy. She just flows back and forth.
It's beautiful.
She flows back in, and it's just like, what am I worried about,
Dude, you got it, man. You're going to make it.
We're gonna make it, guys.
It's going to work, dude.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
I like it. Okay, so here's the question I ask everybody.
Okay.
And I think it's going to hit really well with what you say, just because you guys, like, you're very well put together, dude. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it's authentic. I feel like it's genuine. If you could share one thing with the audience for them to be more sold on themselves, what would you share with them?
The personal development world will tell you that you get to decide who you are and what you want.
Okay.
That's a lie.
Okay.
And that will get you more lost and confused with tons of materialistic stuff and a bunch of math that you've learned how to play.
Okay.
Than if you were to ask the creator of you who he created you to be. And when you fall in love with asking the creator who you are, and you really like fall in love with the process of like, man, God, what is it that you want from me today, for next week? What do you want me to say on this podcast? Like when you really just build that intimate relationship with God, where you're like back and forth, every thought, it's like you guys are a team, and it's like, dude, he's literally helping you handcraft your story.
Right.
And it's like, that's for me, the easiest way to get sold on you is to like realize that you're a reflection of the King of Kings. You're a son of the Most High God. And it's like, what does every kid on the playground, what do they ask? What does your dad do?
Yeah.
What does your dad do?
Yeah.
What does your dad do? Well, dude, my dad created the heavens and the earth.
100%.
He's the King of Kings, Lord of Lords. It's like he created me for a plan, for a purpose, not for destruction and ruin, right?
Yeah.
Not to head towards fear, not towards condemnation, but actually to prosper and to be a blessing.
Right.
To be blessed by God, have favor from God, and bless others. And it's like, when you understand that, it's like, dude, you can consider it pure joy when you endure trials of many kinds.
Beautiful, man.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
That's Bridger, thank you, dude. I appreciate you. Thank you for coming on. That was a beautiful answer.
Thank you for having me.
Tell everybody, because there's going to be some overlap.
Yeah.
So Brady's done a really good job of growing us from nothing to like, we have some people that are paying attention. Mm-hmm. Where do people find you?
Guys, I'd love to connect with you. You can find me on Instagram at Bridger_Rogers, BRIDGER_ROGERS. You could also just search my name on Google. You'll find my podcast, my YouTube channel, stuff like that. I got all kinds of cool stuff that people, can plug into. I've got a book coming out. Maybe that's out. Link in my bio. Check out the link in my bio. I got something cool in there for you guys. And, Man, what kind of people watch the show? Because I have some tools and some resources I could throw in.
The demographic of what we've got right now on YouTube, because that's where we're measuring everything, is 98% are young men from basically 18 to 44.
Okay, this is a good one. Okay.
Okay.
Everybody online, or even depending on what social status or bracket you're in, they're going to tell you there's a specific number of money that you need to make to become financially free.
Okay.
And for the young guys, it's $10K a month, right? When you get older, it's got to be more, but $10K
way
a month.
more. Especially if you're
it's
gonna have
gotta be
5
way
kids,
more.
bro. You better hustle.
With 7 kids, you can't even feed 7 kids with 10K.
No, dude, you cannot.
So my guys, they're like 10K a month, we're rich, right?
Right.
But the reality is like, what's behind the number? It's not the number that the money's just there to be used. So it's like
energy. That's it.
It's energy.
Yeah.
And it's like, so I created a calculator. It's a spreadsheet. I'll give it to you guys for free. It's called the Freedom Calculator. And you put in, young man, you put in where you're at right now, as far as your income, the money you're spending, et cetera. And then where you want to be. Like, what does it look like? Like, go research your dream apartment. How much does that cost? Go research your dream car. Go research, all the things to live the life you want. Dude, you'd be surprised for young guys how much that number is. Maybe it's lower. Some guys it's lower. Like, dude, I don't need a fancy car. I don't need this. Like, dude, it's $5K a month. And they're making 2 or 3. It's like, dude, you'll need to double your income to live a life of freedom.
Right.
Right. Some people it's 10K. Maybe it's 20. Maybe it's 40.
Yeah.
Right. But like, define your own number of freedom and don't get caught up in what the world wants you to do.
Right.
Chasing the Joneses.
Yeah.
Like, go figure that out. So if you guys want that, is it cool if I give it to them?
Yeah, for sure.
Guys, just DM me Freedom Calculator on Instagram and I'll send it over to you guys. And I think it'd be a really cool tool for them to plug into.
Beautiful, dude. I love it.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for having me, JL. This is awesome, man. Love to have you on my show, Bridging the Gap.
I'm happy to come on, dude.
Yeah.
You just tell me
tear
when.
it up. I got to rebuild the studio. I just moved.
I love it.
Yeah. Cool, man.
Is it down here in Scottsdale?
Still here. I just upgraded from a 2 to a 3 bed to make room for the queen when we get married.
Here we go, dude. Before the end of the year.
That's right. We're making it happen. Lord willing.
I love it, dude. Okay. Right. Thank you, man.